Why are people moving out of Tampa? Tampa is home to amazing beaches, top-rated restaurants, a booming job market, and no state income tax. But is it perfect? Not quite. We are also going to cover traffic, rising home prices, hurricanes, and some unexpected downsides. This city is growing like crazy, and there is a reason for that. But before you pack your bag, let's talk about the good, the bad, and the humid. I have helped many families who want to move way out of Tampa sell their home. And I'm always curious, what is happening that has caused you to want to move way out of Tampa? And here's what they've shared with me. Some of you might not be surprised, but some of them might be surprising. The first reason that my sellers wanted to move was the weather. They said it was just way too hot, way too humid, and they didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. From about May to September, Tampa's temperatures are going to sit around 90 degrees or higher. And then you add in the humidity, and it feels like it's about 105 degrees. And the heat index can soar to dangerous levels, making outdoor activities brutal. Air conditioning, it is not a luxury, it is a necessity. You can end up running your AC 24/7, and your electricity bill is going to prove it for you. And for many who have curly hair, the humidity, you're just going to have to embrace the frizz. But the bright side is, the winters are pretty mild. Temperatures are around 70 degrees, and I mean never have to shovel snow. The next con, hurricane and flooding. This is the reality of living a coastal life. When you live in Tampa, hurricane and tropical storms and flooding, they will always be a concern. Hurricane season runs from June to November, and even weaker storms can still knock out power, cause flooding, and do serious damage to your home. And speaking of flooding, that is a major concern in many areas. Certain neighborhoods like South Tampa and St. Pete are flood prone during heavy rains. Flood insurance is expensive, and that also made, and many of my customers just did not want to deal with the hurricanes, the floods, or the costs associated with it. Another con that many sellers mentioned was the traffic and poor public transportation. If you live in Tampa, you know that Tampa's traffic has gotten so much worse. During rush hour, you can expect anywhere between a 35 to 50-minute delay, especially on the highways like I-275, I-4, and Veterans Expressway. And you know the bridges like Howard Franklin are always backed up, especially if you're commuting between Tampa and St. Pete, which I often do. And for those that like to go downtown during major events, parking is difficult. If you're looking at the public transportation route, it barely exists. There's no subway, no real train system, just buses and the streetcar. So if you don't have a car, getting around can be quite frustrating. For many of my sellers, the rising cost of living in Tampa was another big con. Tampa used to be one of Florida's most affordable cities, but that has changed. Home prices have skyrocketed. The median home price right now is around $381,000. Renting a 2-bedroom apartment can set you back just underneath $1,800, which is about 24% higher than the national average. What is driving up the cost of living? It's all those people moving to Tampa. It's driving up demand, and it's increasing all the prices. Along with that, you know that the investors gobbled up a lot of properties, and that drove up the prices even higher. Still, compared to cities like Miami and New York, Tampa is still more affordable. It's not cheap, but it is more affordable. The next con for my sellers was they were over the tourists, because as you know, the tourists, they're everywhere. Clearwater Beach, it's packed every weekend. Busch Gardens and other theme parks, there's long lines all year round. And if you like to go downtown or Ybor City, tourists flood in for the events, making it hard to find parking and getting into your favorite restaurant. Because it's going to be packed, you're going to expect a very long wait for a table. Now, con number 6 is kind of funny to me, and that is the mosquitoes, the allergies, and the weird wildlife. You know, mosquitoes here, they are aggressive, and they are especially bad after a heavy rain. Bug spray here, it's not a luxury, it is essential. For people with allergies, Tampa is a problem. We have oak, ragweed, and palm pollen, just to name a few, every spring and fall. Oh, and about the wildlife, people are not expecting to see the alligators, the snakes, the armadillos, and do not forget the lizards. The lizards are everywhere. But the one that really gets me the most are the flying cockroaches. Those big, ugly, nasty palmetto bugs. I know I don't like them. I'm still here. They're obviously not a deal breaker for me, but I think of all of them, that's the one that gets me the most. Now, this reason I find the most interesting is the taste of the tap water. Tampa's tap water is safe, but many people said that they just don't enjoy the taste. For them, it had a strong chlorine and mineral taste. So many residents, they will use filters or they'll buy bottled water. Now, these were the top reasons that my customers told me that they wanted to leave Tampa. Do you agree with their reasons, or do you have reasons of your own? If you are really thinking about leaving Tampa and you want to know your home's value, click on the link in the description below to get your home's value, so when it's time to sell, you know what you're going to be able to get for your house. Now let's flip the script. Because while they may not have found that Tampa was a perfect place for them, there are plenty of people, me included, who love Tampa. Let's go over what my buyers told me was their reason for moving to Tampa. For them, the number one pro was the weather. They love the weather. They love the warm weather all year round. In the cooler months like November to April, they enjoy that temperature that's around 70 and 80 degrees. So while their friends up north is shoveling snow, they were enjoying golf, fishing, biking, hiking, and laying in the pool. They also enjoyed being in an area with great weather that allowed them to spend so much of their time outside. Tampa enjoys about 240 plus days a year of sunny, fantastic weather. The next pro that many of my buyers wanted to move to Tampa for was they wanted to enjoy having no state income tax. I mean, who doesn't love saving some extra money? Many of my buyers are from states like California, New York, and Illinois. So for them, this was a huge financial win. The savings that this gave them allowed them to travel more or put more money into their retirement. And for my retirees that moved to Tampa, they loved that they could stretch their dollars even further. Another pro that my buyers enjoyed is they love the beaches. Clearwater Beach, St. Pete Beach, and Siesta Key are consistently ranked among the top beaches in the country. They have soft white sand, crystal clear, beautiful blue waters, and the most beautiful sunsets. Unlike other Florida cities, Tampa isn't directly on the coast, so you are close enough to enjoy the beaches without dealing with the full impact of the coastal storms. Many of them love that the outdoor activities are pretty much endless. You've got paddle boarding, jet skiing, kayaking, canoeing, snorkeling, dolphin watching. You have inshore fishing, offshore fishing, and scuba diving. Now, the next pro that they enjoyed was the booming job market and the strong economy. Tampa's job market is on fire. It is one of the fastest growing economies in Florida. The booming industries are the healthcare with Tampa General Hospital, Baycare Health. In finance, we have Raymond James Financial, Citi, and USAA. In technology and startups, we have tech data, cyberspace companies, and software firms. And of course, there's tourism and hospitality, where you're going to find busch gardens, hotels, and convention centers. Tampa's unemployment rate is also lower than the national average. The cost of living, and yes, it is rising, is still more affordable than Miami and Orlando, making it easier to live comfortably on an average salary. The next pro that my buyers like is the thriving sports and entertainment scene. If you are a sports fan, Tampa is your paradise. You've got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which is your NFL Super Bowl champions in 2021, playing at the Raymond James Stadium. You have the Tampa Bay Lightning. This hockey team has won multiple Stanley Cups and has some of the most passionate fans in the league. And we also have the Tampa Bay Rays, a consistently competitive baseball team with an exciting fan base. The next pro of being in Tampa is the fantastic food scene. This is a food paradise. You are going to find seafood everywhere. The grouper sandwiches, the shrimp tacos, and the stone crab claws are just some of the local favorites. And Tampa is home to the Cuban sandwich. And restaurants like the Columbia Restaurant, since 1905, has served some of the best. Also, the farmers market and food festivals bring tons of fresh local flavors throughout the year. And the next pro for those that like to travel, they love the Tampa airport, and so do I. It is one of the best airports in the US. It's rated tops for cleanliness, convenience, and efficiency. The security lines are often short, check-in is easy, and there are tons of direct flights. Because of this, Tampa is my favorite airport. Sorry, Orlando. This airport is great for business travelers and vacationers. If you have to travel for work, which I often do, it is wonderful for having numerous direct flights. And if you like to go on vacation, which I also like to do, Tampa has some of the most affordable flights to the Caribbean, Europe, and so many other places. So now that you've heard why my customers either loved or didn't love Tampa, what is your decision? Are you leaving Tampa, or have you decided that, nope, I love it, I am moving here anyway? If you're thinking about moving to Tampa and you want a list of the most exquisite homes, make sure you click on the link in the description below. I'll see you in the next video.